So good morning, everybody. It is 420, as we call it here in LA, which is an important day in the cannabis market. But we're not here to talk about cannabis. We're here to talk about NoahFace, and we're doing our every third Tuesday. So I'm joined by my colleague and partner, Jonathan. Jonathan, how are you?
I'm great today.
Fantastic. That's awesome. So today, what we're going to do quickly is we are going to talk about a mini deep dive on a topic called group punching, and then we're going to do our regular Q&A and things like that. So Jonathan, would you like to take over and take us through group punching, please? Which is a development that's been asked for by our resellers for a little bit of time, and my understanding is that it's been a heavily requested topic from the UKG side for a long time.
So what I'm going to show you, this is something I'm going to cover here in a little bit, but what I wanted to give you is a quick demonstration of what this actually looks like. So yeah, there we go. All right, so we've added this functionality in now where you can do group clock in and clock out, okay? So if I'm a manager and I have whatever, we're picking fruit in the field, and I don't want everyone to sit there and do the punch in, punch out with the clock for whatever that reason may be, and I need to punch in 30 people at once. What you'll have the ability to do is the manager can have the iPad with them. They'll sign in with their passcode, which is what you're seeing here, okay? Once they sign into that, they're going to get, you'll notice there's a new tab here called Team. And this lets that manager build out their team for the day, for the week, for whoever they're going to have on the actual team that they're going to do group punching for. Once they go through and they'll need to add them, and the easiest way to do that is over on the All tab. So you'll see all of the employees that will be listed. They can just simply swipe to the left and click the gray Add to Team button. And you'll see that at that point, pretty quick, not a slow response or anything like that. Then you can go back to the team item and you'll see, okay, here's all my team members that I can do punches for. So at the top right, you've got a couple of icons there. One is for refresh, and then the first one there is to punch in, and the second one is to punch out. And so you can use those according to whatever you're needing. So here's an example of punch in. You pick the date, you enter the time, and then you click the clock in button. You're going to notice this is one of the few times that NoahFace doesn't work within 1 second, because what it's doing is registering every single one of those events. So the punch in might take, I don't know, 30 seconds or something like that, depending on how large that actual group is. So I've clicked clock in, it'll take a moment, records all those events, and it's doing it to the iPad. So again, they don't have to be online. They don't have to be connected to anything. They can all sync that up later when they go back to the office or whatever. And so now you have an in and out tab also. So there in the in tab shows you everybody that's currently clocked in for your group. And then the out tab you'll see shows nobody clocked out because I ended up selecting the entire team, okay? So then if we want to get rid of everybody and punch them out for the day, you do the same thing, date, time, enter that, click clock out, wait for it just a second for it to go through and record all of those events. Once it's finished, you'll now see if you go to the out tab, I actually went a little far. If you go to the out tab there, you'll see that everyone is now punched out. Okay. So that way, if you did miss an employee or something like that, you could see that they're still in and you needed to punch them out. If you want to then remove people from your team, it's the same way as adding. Go to the team, swipe to the left, click the gray button that says removed from the team, and then they're no longer a part of your team. So that's essentially what group punch is. It's a real simple process, still lets the clock work offline, all of those good things. But each manager can create their own custom teams because they're going to be signing in with their passcode. So you'll give that to that iPad to the manager. They'll create their team, and then they simply just punch in, punch out, however they need to. Users can still use the clock. If, let's say, somebody comes in late and they miss the group punch scenario, they could still do facial recognition, however it is that you want to work. But if you want to simultaneously clock in a whole shift, you can now. Any questions about that? No. Okay.
Looks like
Just so you know, this is all done on the NoahFace side, nothing done on the Workforce Ready side. So if you have groups and things like that already created there, that's not related to what we're doing. You let the individual manager make their particular team, and then it'll stay stored for them. So that is that piece. So pretty simple setup.
Jonathan, just a clarifying question. So this group punching just resides on top of everything else. It doesn't replace anything that was already there. And this is a specific feature based on a request for people who just have large groups of people who are all together and they just want to go through the simple process of just putting this group of people all on right now and then taking them all off later. So it's just a thing that sits on top of everything else that's available for you, correct?
It's registering a whole bunch of events at the same time. So this came in directly from our partners, and this is a new feature that we developed on the NoahFace side.
Excellent.
Okay, so this is just like the shortcut button. That's like a one-time click, and then when I go to UKG Ready, I see all those people clocked out individually or clocked in individually, as I would if I had done them individually.
Correct.
Okay.
So that covers our deep dive. I'm going to kick over into the next section here on quick updates. I'm going to take care of number one, and then I'll turn the rest of it back over to Nick. So what we have been doing some work on is our YouTube channel for NoahFace. And the reason why we're creating this is to give you guys as partners additional resources. So we're breaking it up into a couple sections for right now, just 3. But that will continue to increase and change over time. And you know, I'm sure you guys have better ideas than us. You're like, well, we'd really like X. And I'm like, oh, well, we can build that. So as those things come up and you want to see something else that's helpful for you, then just let us know. And those are things that we can change. Previously, our channel consisted of some pretty basic stuff. So if you went into, it was just our uploads channel, and what you had was a lot of older content. I'm sure you've seen like the video that we made for PCW, things like that. We were on an Australian television show, and then some other older things that we had with the product. So what we wanted to do was actually make this a little bit more functional for you guys. So here on the homepage, you've got the different playlists that we have. You can also find that on the actual playlist itself. You do have the ability to search within the channel if you're trying to find something specific. So say you wanted to see touchless clock. If you put that in, you'll find every video that we have associated with that. So for example, these are the demo videos at the moment. And here they're very quick, short, to the point. There's no audio on purpose. That way you guys can talk over the videos. They're all set up to be 4K. So if you're doing something and want it at the highest resolution possible, if you're doing it on a giant projector or, you know, fancy television or something, you're already covered for that. The other option that you have is within YouTube. I've recorded these to be pretty quick in order to allow you guys to just kind of fly through some stuff. But if it's too fast for how you want to present the actual demo, then you've got the ability through this little settings button here to change it if you wanted to go half speed. They're all formatted exactly the same. They give you an explanation of what the video title there. Then they'll show you an iPad with some text off to the right that's essentially explaining what's happening, so you can, again, talk over each item. And then if someone needs to ask a question, you can pause it, explain whatever you need to, and then resume like I just showed you there with the group punch. But again, very simple. I wanted to show you that one piece. It's very simple. I've tried to keep it as generic as possible so you can speak better to each individual client. You know, some people may want it called this or that. It'll be easier for you to explain. But in different areas, like in this one specific, you'll see I put in where you can customize specific text. I actually label it in all caps and says you can customize this section of the consent statement. So that way it's easier for your clients to be able to recognize it immediately. Oh, that's my spot where I can put in language. Okay. But again, they're all very simple to the point. You can slow it down, speed it up, whatever it is that you want to show for that. We're also going to make these available to you via our Google Drive. So you'll have access to the raw video file. So if you need to take these and embed them in a slide deck, you can embed the actual YouTube video, but you may be given a presentation where you're not online for some reason, you know, once things go back to normal. So you can do the video, the YouTube video, or you can also embed the MP4 into your slides for PowerPoint or whatever you use. If you've got to do something offline, that way you can, you know, just customize out however you want. The next section that I'm currently working on will be the how-tos for all this. So user registration list plus admin. So when you go in and create the, you're going to show the customer that they want, let's say there's a new version of you because your business is growing. And so you're like, crap, I got to go train this guy on NoahFace now, right? Well, they can sit down and figure out how to do this. So you want to do touchless time clock. There's going to be a corresponding video that shows you on the admin side how you go in and actually configure that. And it'll review some of the settings and customizations that you can do with it. Again, all high level, you can always dig into it deeper. But the point is just if you don't touch visitor registration, for example, for 6 months, and you're like, I don't remember how to do that, you'll be able to come to the site, go get a quick look at it and go, yeah, okay, now I know what we're doing. Our third section that we have will be the every third Tuesday, which is what you're attending now. And we'll just continue to post these. So they're short videos. Our first one was a little longer. This one will be a little shorter. But we're just giving you sales information. And again, some information, sales and tech information for the product. So that's all on the YouTube channel, unless you have any questions about any of that, Nevin. Nope.
No, that's
Okay.
good. Straightforward.
Turn it over to Nick and he can pick up the rest of the presentation.
Right. So thanks, Jonathan. So just hang on one sec. Okay. Just scroll through this for a second. So I just want to say that Jonathan will continue to build more and more videos on the YouTube channel, as he said. And if any of the resellers have a requirement for a specific video that they need, then please let us know. And we may already have, or may have already done it and to just give it to you. And if we need to create one for you for a specific thing, then let us know and we'll work together on that and whether we can help you with that. Okay. So changing gears, just want to talk a little bit about trial. NoahFace is brand new to the US, and in the US we have 100% retention. In Australia, we're about 5 years old. We have about 98 to 99% retention. The bottom line is that our clients, once they try the product, are super, super happy with it, and they don't get rid of it. And what we are trying to work with all of our resellers on is just working out different ways to get the product tried by your clients. And we don't really care what particular initiative is. It could be a free offer of 30 days, 60 days. It could be half price. It could be coming back to work post-COVID. It could be anything that you think is a good idea. If it's a good idea and it makes sense and will get your client over the ledge of trying the product, then let's just talk about it and work out how we can make that work. What our experience is the smartest way to make this as frictionless as possible is if the clients bring their own iPads to the game, we can get them up and running very, very quickly. If they've got a UKG ready login and they've got an iPad, we can go from 0 to hero in 15 minutes or less. We can get them up and running and done. The second thing that we know is that thermal is a big issue in its own right. It comes with more complexity. It comes with more cost. There's limited product available, et cetera, et cetera. So our trial offer is all focused on touchless, or it's all focused on non-thermal. And that's just easier for everybody, including us, you, the reseller, and also for your prospects. Now, if you have a client that wants thermal, then let's talk about what we need to do to help them to understand it. It is possible to do a demo of thermal with a regular iPad. It's just a simulation, but at least shows the concept. But the bottom line is, let's get some trial going, and let's work with you to work out the best way to make that make sense. All right, any questions? Cool. Coming up in May on the 12th and the 13th is the second PCW virtual. And this is the agenda for the first day, May the 12th. And it will kick off at 11 o'clock PS, all these times in green. This is the official UKG agenda. These are all Eastern times, but it will kick off at 11 o'clock Eastern. And NoahFace is going to be the diamond sponsor of this event again. And in fact, you will see a 3-minute video from us at the beginning of that. Some of the resellers have agreed to participate in the creation of that video, which we're very grateful for. And they've just talked about their experience with the product. And I'll talk about that in a second. The second thing that we're going to do in the afternoon at 2:35 Eastern or 11:35 Pacific is we are going to run an open session. This is during the second break of the day. We're going to do an open session, which we'd like the resellers to participate in. So first and foremost, if you have already contributed to our reseller testimonial video, thank you very much. You've been fantastic. I have more of these scheduled, but if you'd like to participate in it, then please contact me, Nick, ASAP, and we'll schedule a time to shoot you. And then secondarily, please mark your calendars. I will send you an invitation, but we are planning to have, we will have a live reseller Q&A session during this second break on day one. And if any of you recognize any of the people in this Zoom shot here, then that's weird, because this is a Zoom picture that I took off the internet, and I have no idea who any of these people are. But how weird would that be if you knew someone that was in that video? So anyway, mark your calendars and plan to join us in this open session on May the 12th. That's what we wanted to present today. We like to keep these sessions short. If there's any questions from anyone, Niven, do you have any questions to do with anything we presented or NoahFace in general?
What was the client base that was asking for the group punch? What is that background? What is that?
Yeah, great question. So Jonathan mentioned, for instance, if you have a group of people who, one that we do know of, who work in agriculture, right? So they're out in the field and everybody meets on site at a place, and we're about to start to do a project together. Okay, everybody's here. Let's just get everybody clocked in right now, right? And then at the end of the day, we're all leaving, so let's get everybody clocked out. So that's one particular use occasion that we're well aware of. But that seems logical. Beyond that, I'm not really sure why you would want to do that, but that's one that we do know of. Jonathan, were you familiar with another use case?
I think there might be some use cases for that theater that was interested. They may have an item where they're needing to clock in, multiple people at once for one go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
but
good,
I
yeah.
think you've covered some of the basics for that.
I was, and the only reason I asked is because I was literally trying to come up with a non-agricultural
Yeah.
scenario, and I couldn't think of one. But that's great. The theater thing is great.
Yeah, I'll tell you another related one that could well work. We had a client question about one of their clients who their business is Halloween hayrides. Okay, so all these staff are all wearing heavy makeup, right? They've all got green faces and all this sort of particular stuff. And the question was, will the facial recognition work if I'm wearing bright green makeup? Okay.
Right.
I could imagine that could also potentially be something where you want to do a group punch, because a bunch of performers are doing something within a show period that starts and finishes. And the one that Jonathan was mentioning actually wasn't that hayride one. It was a client who has a theater, and there were two things that came up there. One was that everybody turns up and starts working at a particular time. And the other thing that happens is that your role is often assigned when you turn up. So the specifics we were told about is that, Niven, you today could be the main actor, you could be the understudy, or actually you could actually even be an usher. And the pay scales for those three different roles are quite different. And while you are planning to be the understudy, but if the guy that you're understudy for is sick, guess what? You're the main actor today, right? Or whatever. And the important point was that you can clock in as usher, understudy, or actor, and your pay scale will automatically will reflect the role that you're doing today, even though it was determined at the last minute. So,
Gotcha.
Okay. Any other
Perfect.
questions on anything to do with?
And then Jonathan, the groups, like how you just added them quickly to the team and all that, that's completely editable on the fly, right?
Yeah.
I can just put like 3 groups in there real quick, and then I say, like, in Nick's scenario, one guy changes groups, I change him real quick, reclock him in and out, or whatever the case may be, and then everything's stored until I sync back up.
Yeah, so that's done per manager, I believe. So when I sign in with my code, I'll see my group.
Got you.
And then if someone else signs in with their code, they'll see their group.
Okay.
So that raises a good question, Jonathan. Can I, as a manager, have multiple groups?
I did not see that.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So I can easily change my group, right?
Correct.
I can easily add and delete people from my group, but it seems like I probably can't have 3 groups or 3 teams. Okay.
Correct. It's just a single group at this point.
Okay.
Okay. Understood.
All right. So anything else at this stage? No.
I think I'm solid.
Fantastic. All right. And Niven is one of the guys who's already been recorded, and that went really well and got some great things from him. So thank you again to you and also to the Fuse team for all your support.